Welcome to Learning Anatomy with Dr. Bakare. And in this lecture, we'll be looking at the growth of cartilage. Cartilage can grow through two distinct patterns, and this can be through interstitial or appositional growth patterns. In this lecture, we'll be looking at the details behind these two growth patterns. Cartilage is classified as a specialized type of connective tissue, and it is specifically classified as a supporting type of specialized type of connective tissue. It is specialized because it contains distinct cells and also distinct extracellular matrix, and this is peculiar to just the cartilage. It cannot be seen in other types of connective tissue, and this is why it is specialized type of connective tissue. And it is supporting because it exerts supporting functions. Using this image by the side, this is where we have an articular cartilage here, arrowed in black. We have cartilages deposited in different regions of the body. We have cartilages also located within the intervertebral disc. And this is where they are helping to provide structural support for the structure. We also have cartilages in the nose, in the ear, in the trachea, and also in the bronchi. And this is why they are helping to reinforce the shape of these structures. This we have highlighted in our previous lecture on the cartilage. If you've not checked that lecture out, please kindly go and do so. Generally, cartilage is seen to present a basic histological features. And this will help us in understanding the final product or the final end product that we should expect after discussing our different growth patterns. If you look at this image by the side, this is the histological feature of the cartilage. We say that the cartilage is specialized because it is made up of specialized structures. Microscopically, the cartilage is made up of a cellular component and an extracellular component. The cellular component, just as the name implies, a cellular configuration of the cartilage. And if you use this image by the lower side here, this is where we have the cellular component of the cartilage, and these are referred to as the chondrocytes. The chondrocytes are the mature cells of the cartilage, and this is what is seen here to be harrowed in pink. These chondrocytes can be seen as single cells, or they can be seen in group. In this image here, you have a collection of chondrocytes at this point here, and at this region here, you have just single chondrocytes located at this region. So they can be seen as a single cell, or they can be seen in group, and they are seen to be located within a specialized space that is referred to as lacuna. And this is the lacuna here highlighted in yellow, and this is another lacuna here also highlighted in yellow. So you have a number of lacunae within the cartilage, and this is where it is creating the accommodation site for the chondrocyte. And this is the cellular component of the cartilage. Remember, we said that we have also the extracellular component, and these are these components that are located outside the cellular space. And this extracellular component contains the fibers and also the ground substance. This is where we have the fiber here, harrowed in brown. So you have a number of fibers also located within the extracellular matrix. And you also have the ground substance that is also harrowed here in hash. We say that the fibers and the ground substance will come together to form the extracellular matrix, because these extracellular matrices are located outside the cellular space. And these are the two distinct components that we have in this region. And this ground substance is what provides the background onto which the cellular components and also the fibers, which of course is a subcomponent of the extracellular matrix, are also embedded. So you see that I create the platform onto which these cells and also the fibers are embedded. And these extracellular components are also distinct depending on the types of cartilage. We know that we have different types of cartilages. We have the hyaline type of cartilage, we have the fibrocartilage, and also the elastic type. So it depends on this cartilage that is needed to be produced. This will determine the type of fibers and also the types of ground substance that will be synthesized. So different types of cartilage will also have their own distinct type of extracellular matrix, which is peculiar to them. And we've tried to also highlight this in our previous lecture on the cartilage. And on the external region of the cartilage, we have the perichondrium. So this is the perichondrium here, creating the outer margin of the cartilage. So this structure is the basic configuration of the cartilage, and it is important that we are highlighting this because this will be used in our subsequent slide, where we'll be trying to describe the different growth patterns, because at the end we should expect this basic type of configuration. It is also important for us to add that cartilages, some can be temporary while others can be permanent. But temporary type of cartilage, it means that they are going to be replaced by bone tissue, and this will be done by endochondral ossification. We know that some bones are produced from templates of cartilages that are already produced, and this will occur through the calcification process of these cartilages. This means that this type of cartilages are temporary form of cartilages, while the permanent type of cartilages will remain cartilage throughout their lifetime. And this is where you see them deposited at different regions of the body, such as the articulating ends of bones in the nose, the trachea, and also the intervertebral disc. We've tried to highlight this previously when we started this lecture. These cartilages are basically produced through series of events that are referred to as chondrogenesis. Chondrogenesis is the basic pattern of events that will occur through which cartilage will be formed. So let's drive further to unfold two basic patterns onto which cartilages will be developed. So basically, cartilages will grow through interstitial growth pattern and also their positional growth pattern. We'll be taking each of these growth patterns one after the other and describing the details of events that will occur within each. So for the interstitial growth pattern, this pattern of growth of cartilage occurs from within the internal space. So let's say this is the configuration of the cartilage. So within the cartilage, we have the mesenchymal cells. These mesenchymal cells, they are undifferentiated cells, and this is what is seen here highlighted in white. These cells will then be stimulated to develop into chondroblasts. The chondroblasts are the baby version of the mature cartilaginous cell. And using this lower image, we have the mesenchymal cells, which are undifferentiated. They've been transformed into the chondroblast. This is the chondroblast here, highlighted here in red. So you have this chondroblast produced from the mesenchymal cell, and they are seen to secrete their own matrix on top of the pre-existing one. As this event occur here with one mesenchymal cell, it is also going to be seen with the other mesenchymal cells that are located from within. This chondroblast, we say, is the baby version of the mature cartilaginous cell. This means that it is going to further develop into the mature cell, which are referred to as the chondrocytes. So you have the chondroblast transformed into the chondrocytes, and this is what is highlighted here in yellow. This chondrocyte will then further grow and also divide under mitotic division. And this is where you see them multiplying at this point. And this group of cells are referred to as the isogenic cell or the nest cell. So you see that the mature chondrocyte will further grow and also increase in number and also in size. And they are located within the lacuna. And this lacuna is what is highlighted here in white. These cells may further divide and become independent, staying within their own lacuna. And this is what is exhibited here in this image. And this pattern of growth leads to the increase in the density of the cartilage around the central region. The target point of interstitial growth is the point where the chondrocyte begins to increase in size and also increase in number. And this will lead to creation of high density within the space. Basically, interstitial growth of cartilage will lead to increase in length. If you look at this image up here, this is the initial length that was quoted. And at this present time, this is the new length that is quoted. So you see that there's going to be the increase in the vertical axis of the cartilage. And we say that this specific type of cartilaginous growth, which is the interstitial growth, also increases the density of the cartilage. And this is as a result of the mitotic division that the chondrocytes exhibit at this point. Then the second type of growth is the appositional growth. The appositional growth occurs from the peripheral surface. Let's say this is the configuration of the cartilage. And at this outer region, we have the mesenchymal cells here highlighted in white, just as we have in our previous slide. But this is specifically the mesenchymal cells that are located around the perichondrium. Remember, we highlighted the perichondrium as the outer margin of the cartilage. So they are seen at the peripheral region. So specifically, the mesenchymal cells that are located at the perichondrium, and they are undifferentiated, and this will be stimulated to be transformed into the chondroblast. This is where we have the mesenchymal cells here at this lower image, located at the peripheral region of the cartilage. And you see that these mesenchymal cells are beginning to be transformed into the chondroblast. And this is what is highlighted here in red. And at this point, the chondroblast, we say, is the baby version of the mature cartilaginous cell, will begin to also produce or secrete its own matrix around this space. And this will further be transformed into the mature chondrocytes. And this is what is highlighted here in yellow, which will also lay down more matrix around this space. So you see that the basic growth pattern is from the undifferentiated cells being transformed into the chondroblast, which will further mature to become the chondrocytes. So this is the basic, but the difference is that for appositional growth, it is from the peripheral. So they occur within the outer margin of the cartilage. For the interstitial growth, it is from within, and also this chondrocyte will further multiply due to mitotic division. We say that this is what creates high density for the interstitial growth pattern. So you see that there are two distinct formats or patterns through which the cartilage would grow. For the appositional growth, it causes increase in width. If you look at this upper image, if you look at the width here, you see that it is smaller. And when you go to the newly formed cartilage, through the appositional growth, you see that it is wider. So this tends to create growth along the horizontal axis. And this is what also makes it different from the interstitial growth pattern. So you can see that we have distinct features and also exhibition around the space. So these are the two patterns of cartilaginous growth, and I hope that you find this useful. Let's continue to stay clear.